All right, guys, let's start off 2025 the right way by making 2025 the last year that you ever work a 9 to 5, and instead you escape that complete trap that is the 9 to 5 job that everybody tells you you need to have. So no fluff, no BS, no quick fix for whatever, none of that sort of garbage. You're getting the straight up truth with actionable items that you can actually do, and you can start taking action today to escape the 9 to 5 trap in 2025. Now, this video right here, I'm gonna be honest, gonna be a little bit longer than my normal videos here, but I promise you it is worthwhile if you wanna break out of that 9 to 5 there. Of course, like the video if you like longer form videos like that. And obviously subscribe to this channel too. That's all that we talk about is financial freedom, how to escape the normal and kind of move over here into that 1% of folks who are living the dream. They are retired and loving life, or they have financial freedom and they have the freedom to do whatever the heck they want in life. That is what this channel is all about, giving you real actionable steps to do that. Yes, I'd probably grow the channel twice as fast if I gave you guys a bunch of BS and a bunch of fluff and a bunch of pie in the sky type things. But you guys know that's just not my style. I'm not going to do that. I got to give you guys the truth. So that right there is what we're going to talk about today in regards to escaping that 9 to 5, because I meet very, very few people. Matter of fact, I mean, very, very few who actually want to be in their 9 to 5 job. Everybody wants a way out of it. And there's actually multiple routes you can go, but we're going to cover 2 of those routes today that have the greatest chance of success. I can't cover them all. We're going to cover the 2 that have the greatest chance of success. And one of them allows you to never work again, guys. So make sure you stick around for both of them because it's critical to that point. So step number 1 is determine what your goal is. Now, more specifically, whenever I say this, I know goals could be a million different things, but specifically for this discussion today, I'm basically asking you, do you want to have financial freedom, or do you just want to have a job that you absolutely love to do, that you control, that you own every piece of it per se? So that right there is kind of the 2 different goals that we're looking at and that we're going to achieve today. Now you can mix the 2, and in the blacklist, we think you should do both because it accelerates financial freedom, makes it come faster, and it gives you more options, more hedges, more of everything in regards to your financial freedom long term. So we suggest you actually doing both of them. But for this video right here, we're going to split them up, but you absolutely can combine them. So kind of keep that in mind as we kind of go through both of them. Hey, combining them is actually the recommended way to do it. But for the sake of this video and to keep it as short as possible, even though it's going to be long, that right there is how we've broken it out. Now, looking at both of those, there are some commonalities to apply to both. So that way, let's kind of get those out of the way first because they apply to both sides regardless of which direction you want to go. For instance, expect to use your current job to cushion your transition, whether that's financial freedom or having your dream business over here. You got to use your current job to kind of cushion that. I mean, you can quit and just kind of go all in, but for most, that leads to a total disaster and again, takes away options over the long run. You need time to learn. You need time to plan. You need time to make mistakes and not have those mistakes devastate you financially. You need time to pivot, make connections, explore opportunities, basically make upgrades, change, redirect, change your plan, explore other opportunities. And your current job allows you to do all of that because it takes away that burden of trying to pay the bills in the meantime and having to make decisions maybe to pay a bill versus what's best for the business or what's best for going after financial freedom instead. That's what you want to be. So expect to stay at your job a minimum of 1 to 5 years. That's kind of the timeline that we're dealing with here. I know that seems like a lot, but nothing sustainable is built overnight. And people that always fall for the get rich quick schemes or whatever, they want everything as quick as possible and they want everything overnight. It's just not how it works in the end. So kind of expect those type timelines. The other commonality is to expect everyone, and I mean everyone, to think that you're crazy, you're stupid, you're out of your mind, or whatever the heck gets thrown out at you. But remember, those folks saying that are the 99%. You want to break away from that, and anyone that does is always crazy, stupid, taking on more risk, or whatever the case is. And guess what? Unfortunately, this will come from friends and family as well. Matter of fact, it's almost guaranteed to come from friends and family, the hottest and the heaviest. I personally have been called crazy my whole life from those same segments, because I invested in real estate, despite the fact real estate making millions and having more cash flow coming in than all those folks could ever dream of having. And I was also crazy to quit a six-figure job and work more on my business instead that absolutely crushes anything I could ever make in my six-figure job. I was crazy to start my other YouTube channel, and now that one has 100K subs and a thriving group over there. And I was crazy to start this journey here and kind of expand it out into the blacklist and a lot of other programs like that. I was also crazy to achieve financial freedom because the What If Brigade had always deemed it too risky, despite none of them having achieved anything in life except an uneducated opinion based on absolutely nothing. That's basically all they've ever achieved, but yet I was the crazy one. No matter what route you take, this will be your new reality. And every single time this has happened to me, not only was what I did a resounding success and they were all eventually wrong in the end, I now know that when I hear that and I hear those sorts of critiques, I'm on the right path and feel even more confident about my decision. Now, that doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean I won't make mistakes. It doesn't mean I won't fail or fall or whatever the case is. But as long as you get back up, you learn, you get better, and you keep going, you will have success and prove all of them wrong. So on to the first path of the two, and that is you strike out on your own. And the easiest way to do this, guys, is to monetize what you already know. Now, this could be a hobby, but typically for most of us, this is our actual jobs, although there's nothing wrong with doing the same exact thing with a hobby as well. And sometimes that can honestly long-term be better because you have a passion for a lot of your hobbies and such. But this can range from content creation to consulting to simply starting your own company doing exactly what you're already doing now, but you're the owner, you're the boss instead of working for someone else. Now, this will take time, and this is why I don't suggest quitting right away. There is a learning curve to all of this. And let me give you guys just a quick example right here. When I started YouTube, I didn't know my phone could take videos, much less ever edit a video, and I didn't watch YouTube at all. I didn't even own a camera. That is how, and by the way, I hate technology. I don't like computers. The internet is just, it's wonderful in terms of what it all can do, but in terms of how it all works and everything else, there is nobody more technologically illiterate than me. But yet here I am, I started up a YouTube channel. I literally started from zero, but after a few months, I figured out a few things and I continue to get better to this day. If myself, a person who hates technology, didn't watch YouTube, can figure it out and have a successful YouTube channel with thriving businesses behind them, so can you. And consulting is another great way to leverage what you do, what you already know, and the contacts that you have in the industry to monetize your knowledge a lot further than you will ever be paid to do. With the rise of the internet, the templates, all the legal documents, and how to market, all of those things kind of being available to you nice and easy, you just have to put in the work and provide value and build that business. And I've done this one as well. And what I kind of think of first off is, what would you want when you're sitting there at your day job right now? What would you want from a consultant who came into your job today? What needs to be fixed? What are the biggest problems? And I'm sure if you really thought about it, there's a lot of things that could be a lot better right there where you're at today at your current job. Choose the ones that provide the most money to the bottom line if you solve them, and focus on solving those. Business owners and executives are under immense pressure to make more money, improve margins, improve profits, and everything else. And they will happily pay big money if it saves them even more money on the backside there. That is proven true repeatedly in that particular business. I have experienced that repeatedly throughout my career doing that. So it's absolutely there for the taking. Now, again, this takes time. You're not going to go from today and then all of a sudden next weekend you're going to be making millions. And it also takes some delicate play, as your current job may not like it if they found out. But as long as you are ethical and not poaching business or doing it on their dime and their time, and you're not stealing clients or anything else like that, you are not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. And if you wanted to start the same business on your own, the same exact strategy applies. Don't poach customers. Don't steal. Don't do any of that garbage. But there's nothing that says you cannot learn more about the business you are currently in to aid in assisting and starting your own business. Help out the boss a little bit more with an eye on not only actually helping him or her, but understanding the mechanics of the business itself. Where are the headaches? Where are the problems? What makes the most money? How do they operate the business, both good and bad? Obviously they're gonna have some things they do great, some other things they do terrible. What vendors do they use? What are some of the best practices? And many other things are perfectly fine to understand and actually use, but do not steal. Do not directly copy, plagiarize, poach from their employers, or do anything else like that. it is most likely illegal, number one. And even if it's not, guys, it's just not good business. And an unethical business sooner or later goes down, and you are basically setting yourself up for failure before you ever get started. So do it the right way. Progress, learn, get better, make mistakes, retool, refine, reiterate, and in 1 to 5 years, you will be able to quit that job and strike out on your own full time. Now, the other way to do this is to achieve financial freedom. Then you don't need to worry about work again, ever. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty freaking cool. Now, for me, I still choose to work, but I work on whatever the heck I want, however I want, when I want, how I want. And if I needed to quit tomorrow, I just could, and it wouldn't matter. On the Blacklist Financial Freedom Program, we break this out step by step to actually achieve it in 3 different ways. But since we don't have hours upon hours to go through all that, I'll give you the core steps to achieving it right here. So step number 1 is to cut your expenses down. Look, the less you need, the less asset base that you need in the end. So basically, if you need, we'll say $10,000 a month to live right now, that means you need over here, you know what, 1.5, 1.8, $2.5 million or so in order to fund, asset base over here to fund that lifestyle. But if you cut that number down in half, you cut your bills down to $5,000 per se, all of a sudden you now need half the asset base over here to support that same exact number over there. And oh, by the way, it's all going to accelerate because you just cut your expenses down from $10,000 to $5,000. But remember, you're keeping that original job that was paying that $10,000 a month, which means now you have an additional $5,000 over here to increase that asset base. So your assets grow much faster than they were before. And on the flip side, you need much less, which means you achieve it a lot faster. You're basically kind of double dipping. You're basically double speeding the entire process by doing that. But it all starts with cutting down on those expenses over here in the first place. Step number 2, turn everything you own into an asset. Your house should be an asset, guys. We'll start right there. That right there is the biggest one that almost everybody has or wants to have, but yet nobody actually uses it as an asset. And let me tell you how I define an asset. An asset is something that pays me each month, not something I have to pay into each month. So let me kind of explain it a little bit further. I house hack. I live in a great house in an incredible neighborhood on the beach, and I get paid to live here. A dime does not come out of my account and goes to pay the mortgage, goes to pay the bills or anything else. Other people who rent because I house hack pay all those expenses, all those bills for me to a point where I essentially get paid to live in an incredible house. That is how I define assets. That is completely different than throwing $1,500, $2,000, $2,500, $3,000 a month, whatever it is, towards that deal. Now, can it be an asset long-term? Of course, but we're talking about financial freedom here. That's not getting you closer to financial freedom. It is not putting money in your pocket or eliminating a bill from your pocket. It is something you are having to pay for. Yes, I agree. There are some things you cannot turn into the asset, and those things that I can't, I get those costs down as much as possible. I don't have a car payment. I haven't had one in a long time. I drive a 2002 used vehicle. That's what you should be doing too, or something similar to further reduce those expenses down and get you to that spot where you are able to have financial freedom over here. Step number 3, decide how you will replace your income. Now, you can do this through stocks, through real estate, through a side hustle, or another job, or a combination of all 3. Now, in the Blacklist, we actually recommend doing all 3, and we kind of give you the step-by-step process and all the math to achieve financial freedom using all 3 individually, and of course, combining them all together. That's the true power in all this. But since we don't have time to dive into all those different nuances and all those different examples and everything else, let me just give you a quick example right here to kind of let you illustrate what I'm talking about there in regards to having enough income coming in to cover your expenses. So for example, let's say you get your expenses down to that $5K per month we were talking about earlier. You just need cash flowing real estate properties that spin off $5,000 a month in income for you to be financially free at that stage. Doesn't matter what the properties are worth, doesn't matter, net worth and all these other numbers that get thrown around out there and all that sort of stuff. In the end, it's a simple math equation. It's, do you have enough income coming in to cover your expenses? At that stage, you are actually financially free. Now, of course, I would want a little bit of cushion above that. So maybe you got $6,000 coming in to cover $5,000 worth of expenses. But nonetheless, with rent increases over time and everything else, and over the history of the United States, at least, rents have gone down, I think, a couple times over the past, 60, 80 years, something like that. So it's very, very rare they go down. They go up almost every single year. That right there is a situation where you have enough money coming in to cover your expenses and you are financially free. Now, I've seen people do this in just 1 year especially guys, if you already own your own home and you have a good chunk of equity, it can really accelerate the process significantly. There's just so many different ways to do that. Now, you're gonna be crazy. Everybody's gonna call you crazy for doing it, but you absolutely can do that. The fastest I've ever seen it personally is 6 months in our community, but they were really motivated. And I'd say that was very abnormal. So I would not count on 6 months, but right there, same time frame, that 1 year to 5 years is absolutely feasible. And that is absolutely how you get there. Step number 4 is simply execute in the end. Execution is just as critical, if not more critical than plan. Actually, they're both critical. Do them both. You can't have one without the other, and you got to do both of them. We have members that join the blacklist, work through all the program, they lay out a plan, we check the plan, verify the math, build in some contingencies, lay out all the steps to get there, but then the member never actually pulls the trigger or leaves the starting blocks. We saw that repeatedly, especially during the testing phase when we were testing this thing for years, guys. That's how much the program's been around for now in regards to testing it. That right there was routinely what we saw. Now, yes, it's scary. Yes, you're going to be called crazy. Yes, there will be challenges. And yes, we may have to tweak the plan multiple times along the way. But that is no reason to never even start. You have to execute in the end. But executing on a plan is so much easier when the steps to the process are all laid out for you to follow. And then a team of experts has helped you along the way, kind of create that plan, refine that plan. And that same team has reviewed your plan, and that same team will help you execute along the way too as you're executing to your financial freedom. Your chances of success increase 100-fold with that behind you, and that is what you get with the Blacklist Financial Freedom Program, where just a couple of founder spots are left, where you get free lifetime access along with the discounted price as well. So don't miss your opportunity to achieve financial freedom with myself and learn and have our team of experts right behind you already there. And all of us have already achieved financial freedom, and we want to help you do the same exact thing. We want you to achieve financial freedom with us. So check it out. It's the pinned comment down there. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.